Hey everyone, thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Basem podcast. So today I want to talk about the benefits of working with a real estate professional versus trying to do everything on your own. I think the best way for me to introduce this is to give an example. Let's talk about like something non-real estate related. Changing the oil in your car. That is something that I think I can Google and learn how to change the oil in my car. But if I haven't done it before, or if I am not a mechanic or automotive professional, the odds of me going under the hood of my car and doing that oil change properly from beginning to end and not running into issues are pretty low. That's why we go and we ask for help from specialists that are experts in their field. Now, tying that back to real estate, I often get solicitation or requests from people who are in my network who are asking me to help on a piece of real estate that they have tried to take on their own and have run into problems. You know, the most common ones are I bought a residential unit and I have a problem tenant, or I've bought a commercial property, or I'm taking on a development and I've run into cost overruns, or I'm doing a value add proposition and I am in the middle of it and I'm running into issues with either the city or some kind of regulatory body that's not allowing me to achieve my ultimate goal or ultimate density or whatever it is. So in the same regard that even though I think I can change my own oil, I don't go and do that. I actually just go to a mechanic because I want peace of mind and I want to make sure it's being done properly. People should be looking at real estate the same way. You know, the people that work in real estate day to day and make this their profession have gained a great deal of experience and a Rolodex of contacts to help them solve these problems that happen on the fly. If there is a residential tenancy problem, what paralegals or lawyers are you speaking to? How well do you know the Landlord-Tenant Act? And have you made all the necessary filings? If you're going into a cost overrun situation, can we do an audit of the expenses that have been spent so far? How can we adjust the balance of money that we have to spend to make sure that the project gets completed, given the cost overruns that have happened to date? What consultants are we using? What general contractors? What labor or staff are we using, and how can we modify that to allow us to adjust and correct course? If we're going through an entitlements thing, are we using the right planners, lawyers, engineers, and how can we pivot or adjust so to ensure that when we've run into a problem, we know how to get out of it. My biggest case for working with a professional or working with somebody like me is that we've gone through this a few times and we have a pool of experience to pull from, so that when you're making real-time, real-life decisions, it's not your first time doing it, right? Especially when it comes to real estate and the dollars are high. Real estate is a very capital-intensive process. You're going to need real-life, actionable expertise all the time to be able to successfully execute on these types of projects. Doing it alone doesn't mean that you're going to be unsuccessful, but it certainly does increase the odds of you running into a problem that you may not be able to solve, and then having to deal with the blowback of that and not setting yourself up properly. That's the reason why I think working with a professional makes a lot of sense. Like, yes, of course, there's a fee to work with a professional. They take a percentage of your returns, or you're going to pay them on an hourly basis or whatever it is. But to that same, using my earlier analogy, I don't care that I'm paying a little extra so that the mechanic can fix my car properly, or I'm happy to do that because it gives me peace of mind, and it allows me to also focus my time and energy on the things that I'm good at, right? I feel like real estate, especially real estate, it gets this knack where, or it gets this reputation where people think that they can do it on their own. Of course you can, and if you're entrepreneurially minded, and you want to branch out and start doing that stuff on your own, surround yourself with experts and mentors that can teach you and that can give you the resources and experience and skill sets that you need if and when you run into trouble. But for those that don't want to take on all of that extra burden, do what you do with your car when it needs a repair, or yourself when you are sick. Either go see a mechanic or find yourself a good doctor and work with them. In the same regard, that's how you should be looking at real estate, in my humble opinion. That's our show for today. Talk to you next time.